Let me fix my hair for a second. So today was very stressful for about 2 hours of my day. The rest of the 6 hours of my day haven't passed by yet, but for 2 hours of my day it was very stressful. And the last, I'm gonna say, 2 to 3 years of my life have been very stressful. Hi! So today I'm going to be talking about my story of how I went from being homeless when I was 19 to not being homeless a little bit after I became homeless, I'm not going to lie, but still being homeless with no family to fall back on. To going to college thinking that I was getting my life together as a black woman in America, to being scorned by the system, the legal system, because I'm a black woman in America, to having to drop out of college because of the circumstances that I will share later in the video, to now today, after being scorned by the system. I'm going to tell you about that, but to being homeless again. And you might think that something like that sounds kind of like a story of someone who isn't smart, who doesn't have their head on straight, who, came from nothing, who doesn't want anything for herself, but that is completely the opposite of who I am. Literally. I was homeless at 19 in Indiana, and I came to Illinois and got into a homeless youth program. And I thought everything was perfect, everything was going well, until I got put into the system again of low-income housing, which I've grown up in low-income housing. There were, for the most part, nice places, to be honest. And yeah, some of them places had pest control problems, but never as bad as I've seen them on my own when I got placed into a low-income apartment through the Quincy Housing Authority. The infestation there, as many people, actually over 3.4 million people on TikTok saw on my old account that they banned because I was doing a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but over 3.4 million people saw videos almost every day of me sharing how horrible the roach infestation was in low-income housing. That one, to be specific, my apartment, which it took about a week for the roaches to get comfortable in my apartment and show me that they was there. It took about a week. Now, most people might think, oh, low-income housing, that means that they probably have roaches. All low-income housing have roaches. Why is that the first thing that people might think? Because all low-income housing, almost all of low-income housing, has roach problems. That should not be normal. It is not normal. It is not normal to be living amongst pests that cause diseases. And everybody knows that low-income housing is super jam-packed. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal because it's segregation. It's segregation at its finest in 2023. And anybody who can't think of how that makes sense, I don't know, your IQ just can't be there. Literally, the roaches got so bad to where I started exposing myself, being vulnerable online, a very cruel place where lots of people have open space to be very racist and very ignorant, which I've experienced lots of both, especially on my new TikTok account for some reason. I was very vulnerable, and it took me months to put the videos out because it was very embarrassing and humiliated on my behalf because, that's my apartment. That's where I'm laying my head every night, It's very dehumanizing. But I got so fed up with the this is the norm. You live in low income housing, so you have to deal with a roach infestation of roaches crawling into your food, crawling into your bed, crawling into your underwear drawer, your medicine cabinet, your panty liners and your pads. Like, it's inhabitable. It's not something to overlook. And a lot of people are overlooking the fact that this is not normal. It's inhumane. Ooh, dang, y'all, you got the same name as me. I deleted everything. Social media. I'm in Illinois. Thank you. You said I look beautiful. Thank you. Okay, let me get back on track, because it's on live though, but it's not gonna be live when I post it all the way. So it's not normal. It's not normal to live in an apartment completely bombarded with roaches, German roaches, the ones that multiply in thousands overnight, literally. And I'm gonna be vulnerable again and tell my story, because no, I'm not living there anymore. Actually, the thing that happened today is kind of why I'm gonna make this video today, because I feel like people are really playing their white privilege card and their power card on a black woman who's 21 years old, and they're trying to silence me and trying to ruin my reputation while I'm 21 years old, and I'm not going to stand there for that. They're trying to put an eviction notice on my background after I gave them my own 30-day notice because of the fact that they were so infested with roaches. But because I'm of low income and I just came from being in a homeless situation, I didn't have anything to run to when it first started. I didn't have anything to just, oh, let me get all of my stuff and leave. I didn't have that privilege. I didn't. So I had to stick in that apartment and hear petty lies and petty promises from a director who in turn just told me to my face that he didn't tell me words that came out of his mouth about paying the rent because of the roach infestation. Which they put me out because of, well, actually I put my own self out, but they counter put me out to like make it seem like they had more power. Because of $136. Because of $136. They're trying to, oh, and because, of course, because I keep exposing them online with their roach infestation. Yeah, a vendetta. Definitely discrimination. Definitely a whole entire lawsuit waiting to happen. But everybody is like, well, the government isn't going to want to sue themselves. The government isn't going to want to, you know, incriminate themselves, because like I said, it's low income housing, public housing, HUD, the Quincy Housing Authority, the Indian Hills, very infested with roaches. It took like, I don't even know how many intensive treatments through the pest control to get the roaches to even die down, and how many neighbors to move out to get them to subside and keep, you know, the lowdown on the lowdown. Yeah, it's a lot. And that's because, for one, like I'm saying, it's a bigger thing. So my problem isn't really, my problem now today, yeah, it became a problem for me more personal today when he's trying to put an eviction on my background for literally no reason, no really good reason. Yeah, it became personal today. That's it. But before today, it was really just me being somebody who obviously so many other children and other low-income families need to be a voice for the voiceless, because the way that you can think about low-income housing and literally expect, oh, it's dirty, it's nasty, it got roaches, they walking around with bed bugs and roaches. Like, they're literally keeping people in a bucket like some crabs or some like what's it called, crawfish or whatever, like a seafood boil. The roaches of the sea, but on land. Like, they're literally playing power cards, and it's so unfair. And it's hard for people to get up when they're that low. And people keep on putting more things on them. Like I said, I started going to college after I became unhomeless at 19. I'm very smart. I took the ACT and the SAT in my 9th grade and 10th grade year, and I got a 21 in the 1100. Yeah, so if I did it again, I'd probably get way higher than those scores. But yeah, I did that as a black woman in America in low income systems, single freaking parent home, 5 younger siblings, going through any and everything you could possibly imagine when you think of low income. Yeah, I did that. I am that. Went to college, started college, but I was in a community college, so I was not living on a campus. I was living where I'm telling you I was living in low income housing. So yeah, the roach infestation caused me to drop out of college because it started messing with my mental health. It started messing with the things that I could do on a daily basis, and I started flunking my classes. Like, I was doing good at first, don't get me wrong. Like, I love school. I love school so much that like that was my escape. That was my escape until it couldn't be my escape anymore. But I started flunking my classes because of the way my mental health was going down. Being a newly unhomeless youth going through an inhabitable living situation. Yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. And I knew that if I stayed in college, I was going to flunk at the rate that I was going. I didn't have anything or anybody to fall back on. And if I do have anybody or anything to fall back on, they never made themselves, they never invited me in like that. Like, it never been that connection. It never been that situation. So if I had that, I really didn't know. All I knew was that my mama put me out and I was homeless on the street in a city that literally has been named the murder capital of the United States, as small as it is. But yeah, so today, the director of housing, which I've actually made a video saying that, oh, it wasn't him, he's been trying to help me and all this kind of stuff. Well, I just learned today that actually he wasn't trying to help me. He was trying to, what is that word? When some people feed you things to make you act a certain way so that you don't blow up. Kind of like gaslighting. Well, not gaslighting, like the opposite of that. Like, he was telling me what I wanted to hear in the moments and helping only in ways that was helping himself, because that's his property. He's in charge of that property, shall I say. So the pest control, he was going to have to get the pest control involved anyway. I was just a messenger that it was as bad as it was. Every single time they came and sprayed, it was never enough. I can't believe this. Like, I really cannot believe that this is the way it's going. But I have faith in God, because God wouldn't do this to me. God would not leave me high and dry, especially because of all the things I've been through, all the things that I've overcome. I'm 21 years old and I've overcame things that I'm pretty sure no normal white person who came from a family with 2 parents had to even go through to begin with. Like, it's been hard out here. And I wish I had that privilege to never have gone through it. But I guess I've gone through it because God knew that I was the type of person that had a voice. I got a voice and I'm going to use it. Lyrica, say hi. Say hi. I have a voice and I'm going to use it. That's all I'm going to say, is that I'm going to keep using my voice. And that's why the government always kills black people who start really big movements in the world, because everything is because of the government. The government is in charge of literally almost everything. Everything boils back down to the government. And again, I am saying that low-income housing communities is segregation. Modern day segregation. Who is in charge of, not who's in charge, but who actually goes and works these 9-to-5 jobs plus more that keep these businesses in check all these years? McDonald's, Walmart. What group of people is working these jobs, keeping them on their toes, keeping their money rolling in? We know who's paying for their services, yeah, but who's actually working the services for minimum wage? Hello? It's called slavery. It's called modern day slavery. It went up from 10 cents to 20 cents to 30 cents to $1, $2 to $2.50 to $3. Some years later, get up to $9. Actually, it's actually $750, I believe, federally. Yeah. Yeah, we can. Do y'all want to talk about it? But we ain't got to talk about it in this video. I'm gonna keep just telling my story. So I got to the part where I had to drop out of college because of the roach infestation and how it was taking a toll on my mental health and taking a toll on my schoolwork. By the way, if anybody wants to know what I was majoring in, I was majoring in political science because I actually did want to be a lawyer and a judge, ultimately a judge. But actually now I feel like I'm more like a politician. I'm more like a civil rights activist. I'm more like a human rights activist. I'm more like some of these people who they killed. Starting a movement, getting people unsleep. I'm more like those people. Like Martin and Rosa and Malcolm. But people don't want to hear that. People don't want to wake up. People don't want to do the hard work that it's going to take to get the country on another movement. It's about that time. It's 2023. If they didn't think it was going to happen, they were definitely not, as people say, researching history, doomed to repeat it. Yeah, it's definitely something. And I'm definitely never going to shut up about it because it's my story now. Literally. And now they just put more fire under my butt by trying to silence me, by putting me out, so-called, with an eviction notice when I gave them my own 30-day notice of I'm about to leave. Way before they had a chance to even say, oh, you owe us $136. $136. Which he out his mouth told me that I didn't even have to pay rent because of the roach infestation. But of course I didn't have it in writing, so he took that back and recanted. Someone had told me that too. They were like, well, you better get that in writing. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get it in writing, but thank you for telling me that. It made me think about the situation a little bit harder. Like, yeah, you know, it's not in writing, and I doubt he's going to give it to me in writing. So then after that, I took everything he said with a grain of salt. Then I started recording every time I came into their office, because every time I came into their office, it was either me telling them about every single millionth roach I seen crawl through the vents and crawl through the pipelines, crawl out the sink drain, or it was to come. Actually, those were the only times I ever went to the office. Probably like 4 or 5 times a month for the last 8 months. How much video evidence do I have of the actual roach infestation? Lots of them. How many months back? Literally 8, like I said. Like, I got all of the evidence. I got everything. I got everything. It's literally on my social media. It's on TikTok. I didn't really post it too much on YouTube because I felt like since I had way more followers, well, more subscribers on YouTube, like, it kind of made me self-conscious about putting it on there, especially because I didn't start putting it on there, so it would have been coming out of nowhere seemingly on YouTube. But no, they're not going to do this to me. Well, they're not going to get away with it because they're obviously doing it to me because they think that I'm just some Black American minority who no one cares about, who no one's going to listen to. I would love to be the person that is about to graduate college soon. But I did not get that luxury. I got the brains for it. Trust me, I got accepted to all but 2 colleges that I applied for. And I applied for about 40 of them. Maybe a little over 40, actually. Like I said, I got a 21 on my ACT. One time. Took it one time. I took the ACT twice. Once in 9th grade and once in 10th grade. In 9th grade, I got a 1080, and then 10th grade, that's when I got the 1100. Was that 11th grade? I think that was 11th grade that I got the 1100, because I don't think in 9th grade I took, I don't know, but I took it twice, like I said, and the last time that I took it was when I got the 1100. I could do better. But I think that's really good for myself. I know a lot of people that didn't get nowhere near that. I know a lot of people in my class and in my generation that didn't get nothing near what I got. But like I said, I think I could do better. But my circumstances, especially at those times, were definitely mental health destimulating. So as good as I did, I was going through a lot. And as good as I could be doing now, I'm going through a lot because of my skin color and because of how I was born into this country and because of all of the systematic oppression and limitations that this country puts on minorities and people of color. And I include minorities and people of color because people of color means exactly that, people of color. But minorities mean people who are in low income, people who are not represented as much. Which there's lots of people that are white and low income. So I don't want to exclude them. And I don't want to act like that doesn't exist because it's not really about color, but race and color factor into most of the things that happen against us. Honestly, everything could have been better. Everything could have been better, but honestly, I can't change the past. I only am in control of the present moment. I can't even make my future other than by choosing the right things in the present moment, obviously, but I still don't know what that's going to get me in the future. I don't know what this video is going to get me in the future either, but I know that I wanted to make the video because who else is going to talk about it? Who else is in my position to be able to talk about it? Most of the people in my, well, I don't really know nobody in my position 100%. A dark-skinned black woman in America, 21 years old, kind of smart, was just homeless, came from the bottom, trying to make it to the top, breaking so many generational curses that I grew up in, to keep on having to fight through doors that shouldn't be closed, doors that wouldn't be closed to anybody else in America, doors that are only closed to me because I am a black woman in America who has to break generational curses because I didn't come from, I don't know. I don't even know what you have to come from. I don't know, but I know my kids gonna come from whatever it is that you gotta come from. That's all I'm gonna say. They shouldn't be able to do stuff like this to people. I swear, the way that today went down, I can just tell that tomorrow is the full moon. Just the way that today went down, I can tell that tomorrow is a full moon. Almost got me and thought it was today the way that it was going. I was like, no, it wouldn't be this bad on the full moon. I mean, I know it would be, you know, sketchy, but it wouldn't be like bad. I'm in tune. It's part of being in tune. You go through bad things because God wants you to come out of them like the phoenix rising from the ashes. And again, I'm like Malcolm, I'm like Rosa, I'm like all of these people throughout the years. Hello, I'm an Aquarius who I have to make people wake up. I have to make people wake up. I have to be the voice for the voiceless. And I have to do things in the most I don't even know how to explain it. I just have to do things in a way that no one else has done it. The way that no one else would even think to do it. Do you sue the government? They made it very easy. They made it very easy to realize that you can't openly sue the government. To sue the government, what you have to do is not really sue them through the legal court, because the legal court is the government. You have to do what Malcolm did, what Martin did, what Rosa did. You have to really stand up, and then you have to get the people to stand up too. And that's why they don't like those kind of people. But I don't care. Because I can't live on this earth the way that it is anyway. Lyrica, you better not jump up there. I'm living for the people. I'm living for the cause. And the cause right now is that there's so many people going through things that they should never have to go through because of the system. Because of the system. Low-income housing shouldn't be dirty and nasty and grouped together the way that it is. Not all of them are dirty and nasty, but a lot of tenants come and be dirty and nasty, which I feel like that says more about people and their own generational curses than it does like the whole entire community of people who just never were born to have it like that. Because I'm not nasty and I'm not dirty, so think about me not being dirty and not being nasty, cleaning, making sure I'm mopping my floors, and I got all my stuff organized. This is my second apartment. I'm out on my own. I'm doing great. And me being clean and not dirty, all of a sudden I start seeing roaches rampaging through everything that I own. That was devastating for me. That was devastating because I felt like I just did everything that people said that I couldn't do. People expected me not to do. I came from being homeless, boom, got an apartment, living on my own, making ends meet, doing things, making stuff work, boom, go to college. You know how excited I was to go to college? It wasn't hard. It's literally school. The thing that I just told y'all a few minutes ago that I loved, that was my outlet all my childhood. That's probably why I'm smart, because it was an outlet. I'm just a black woman in America trying to break generational chains and curses. Meanwhile, the system is trying to put a gun to my head. And are y'all going to just sit there and watch? They already put a gun to George Floyd's head. The movement doesn't really mean anything if people die. If they died already, the movement subsides. People shouldn't have to die for the movement to even start. The movement is supposed to start before they die. The movement is supposed to be the voice. The voice is supposed to start the movement. Death should not start the movement. Nor should it be the end of a movement. They silence people. But we are the people. We make them. They don't make us. Unless we let them make us, which a lot of people are asleep, and that's letting them make us. That's why God put me on this earth, to wake people up. So if you woke, comment something like, I'm woke. Let it be known, you woke. Are you woke? Because I'm woke. And I'm not going to sleep. And being homeless in a world that God gave me really doesn't mean anything to me. Because just as quick as I become homeless, I could just as quickly become super mega rich and not be homeless. And I'm very sure of that. But obviously, that isn't the goal. That isn't the end all be all. My soul is way more important than my flesh. And that's why I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep talking when I know that they don't even want me to be talking. Like I said, they're trying to silence me over $136. $136. I could go work a job for 2 weeks and make that. Did they give me the chance? No, because they really didn't care about the $136. They cared about my voice and the millions of dollars that I could cost the whole entire United States when I let everybody wake up and know that low-income segregation is segregation. There's a complete act against the segregation. So how is it that today in modern day there's segregation? Make it make sense. I'm gonna leave that right there though. You say you hope I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling great. Thank you. You are beautiful, strong, courageous, young, and fully loved by me and all the people. And I love your cat. Thank you. Silence enabling, not having accountability is the new normal. Keep speaking out, but also watch your back. Yeah, I know. They better watch their back. Because God is on my side. Definitely God is on my side. Well, y'all, thank y'all for coming to my live. And also, if you watching and I'm not live, thank you for watching and you made it this far. Like I said, comment in the comments and say I'm woke if you're woke, because I need to know how many people out there really woke. Because last time I checked and I was reading the Bible, it said Noah only got 8 people. 8 people survived. Many got the call, and 144,000 to be exact. And out of that 144,000, only 8 people got saved. Make that make sense. Y'all have a great day.